welcome everybody to the Town of Waterboro's Planning Board meeting for December 27th. So we'll start with roll call. Oh, where's the agenda? See, talking about wrestling and not even following my agenda. Lost it. Okay. So we'll start with roll call. Marina, do you want us to just go around and introduce ourselves? Would that be easier for you? Or?
That's fine.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So why don't we start with you, Rick, and just...
Rick Madruga.
James Farias.
Rebecca Higgins.
Stacy Walker.
All right. So now we have minutes from previous meetings. We'll start with October 18th, where we had no meeting, so there are no minutes. Next one is November 1st, which is the same situation, so there are no minutes. Right? No, November 1st we have minutes, excuse me. So did anybody have any questions on the minutes for November 1st? I had two things that I think do actually affect the integrity of the minutes, but on the second page, the paragraph that starts Diane Gray, it states Diane Gray stated that she's seeing a lot of confusion from people that they don't understand it can bend a rental income. So I think it can be a rental income, but I do think that changes the integrity of what we're trying to say there. And then down towards the bottom, there's another paragraph that says Diane Gray verified with Joyce that she had more fencing to create a bigger area to allow the goats, to which Joyce confirmed. To which, is she saying that she did confirm it? Is that what she's trying to say there, or is there something missing? Okay. That was all I had. There were a couple other small things, but they don't affect the integrity of what we're trying to convey here, so. All right. And then November 15th, there was no meeting. And then December 6th, there was no meeting, so we had no minutes for those. So if we want to have a motion to approve all of those minutes.
I motion to approve all those minutes.
My second.
Okay. All in favor? All right, so next thing on the agenda is public hearing. We don't have one tonight. So we'll move to old business. The first thing listed under old business is 628 Main Street, Waterboro, conditional use application for Joyce Barker.
Jim, if I may?
Yes.
Mrs. Barker had called and stated that she was unable to make the meeting, and she'd like to schedule a meeting for next Wednesday for the planning board to hear her conditional use.
Okay, so that's the next regular scheduled meeting, right? All right, so we will postpone that to the next meeting. And then the next one, old business, is Waterboro Woodyards preliminary review, Chadbourne Ridge Road, Steve Blake, BH2M, and Austin Fagan, BH2M. Okay.
Thank you. Should I just put this board up here? Just hold on. Is this on?
Don't worry about the mic, we can hear you.
Oh, you can, okay.
You're good.
Cool. Good evening, everyone. Steve Blake with BH2M. Austin is not with me tonight. I'm flying solo. I am representing the applicant Waterboro Woodyards, which is an 11 lot cluster subdivision located off of Chadbourne Ridge Road. We're proposing this. This is a preliminary subdivision application right now. We were in front of the board. I don't know, 6 months ago maybe. It's been a few months anyway since we presented a sketch plan. The sketch plan was very similar to this. We came away with from that with a few comments about ensuring that we had adequate fire protection, turnarounds were appropriate at the end of the road, as well as a few other comments about lot density and things of that nature. So where this is a cluster, we have a fair amount of area that's going to be reserved as open space. This is part of a much larger parcel. So the parcel itself, I think, is like 200 acres. The subdivision piece of this is on about 33 acres, I believe, and like 22 of those are reserved as open space. We have one road that we're proposing. It's been proposed as a public road standard to be offered to the town, should the town elect to accept it. It's 24 feet wide total with a 10-foot paved lanes and 2-foot shoulders, gravel shoulders. And then just in terms of some additional infrastructure that we have, this is all part of your plan set, but this is a plan and profile of the design of the road, and we have some stormwater features that are under drain filters that are meant to detain and filter runoff from the proposed development. In addition to the subdivision permit that we're requesting for the board to review, we've also submitted permit applications to DEP and the Army Corps of Engineers. The DEP permit applications are a Natural Resource Protection Act permit by rule, which is because we have a significant vernal pool on the property, which is in this area right here. So as this vernal pool has a 250-foot protected buffer. The state rules, DEP rules, allow you to impact up to 25% of that buffer, which is what we have kind of in this hatched area here. So that's the NERPA PBR that we submitted to DEP. We also have a stormwater permit by rule that we've submitted to DEP. Those are both still under review. And then the other permit application that I mentioned earlier was with the Army Corps of Engineers, and that is for wetland impacts associated with the driveway for Lot 11. We have a small wetland impact for that. So those are the additional 3 applications that we have that are all under review. We don't have approvals for them yet. It's kind of a brief overview, so if there are any specific questions, be happy to talk to folks about it.
Would you have anything to?
Yeah, I believe in your packets there's a memo from, we have one from Public Works and one from the Fire Department. And I believe Michaela has some comments. I'm glad you had asked me first, because I wanted to address with the board, as we move forward in this process, entertain this, we call it the critical terrestrial habitat, is that hatched area in which he was referring to, near the vernal pool. I'd like to, I'd ask the board to have them give us an actual square footage calculation on each individual lot, so that we can monitor these, so that they're not any further impacted. Moving forward, it's pretty basic in that way. That way we can put that in our subdivision approval. So moving forward, we can enforce that.
Okay. Now, is this an HOA?
Yes, there will be, primarily for maintenance purposes, I guess, of the road while it's still private, and of the open space and the other infrastructure. So there will be a homeowners association.
So open space, meaning open space just clearly open, or is it going to be registered as open space that people have access to?
Yeah, it'll be access for the homeowners association.
Just the homeowners association?
That's what we have it structured now,
Okay.
yeah. And it's passive open space. We're not proposing to build anything structural or trails or anything like that. It's just,
And I think, Mike, in your note, there was something about deed restrictions in regards to this habitat.
Correct. And I think, upon further review, I think if we could have a square footage calculation of
Then
this.
that's in lieu of that? Okay.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
But I did want to mention another important part that our Public Works had brought up. It depicts on this plan that we have some guardrails at the end of the hammerhead. They're concerned in the event that this is turned over to the town and the town accepts it, that the guardrails would actually restrict snow removal.
Okay.
So we'd ask that you remove those guardrails.
okay. Yeah, that's fine.
It's pretty basic, yeah?
Yep. And I apologize, I don't think I received a copy of your comments or DPW comments.
I'll make sure you do so.
Otherwise, I would have
Yep,
tried to address those.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. We're still in the very preliminary stages here, so I'm trying to throw all that out, get it out of the way right
All
up
right,
front.
cool, perfect.
And in reference to some of the drainage courses here, these will be, we ask that obviously that the HOA retains the maintenance for the drainage. But also we'd ask that there be no trees, a restriction placed on here that there are no trees planted within 20 foot of the center of the drainage course. That it's been a problem in the past, of course, as the HOAs move along.
And you're talking about
Yep.
these areas specifically?
Exactly, and those-
We've got these kind of swales that lead around lots 6 and 7 out to a stormwater
Oh,
pit.
sure, yeah.
Exactly, and we've had completed subdivisions, and then we go back to, it is oftentimes it's the HOA's responsibility to maintain those swales. However, we go back later in the subdivision, and there are trees planted in the drainage courses, and then, of course, you've got a nice mound around your tree. and-
Kind of defeats the purpose.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep. One more thing as far as Lot 11. Regarding Lot 11, we asked that the driveway be a minimum of 16 feet wide and a hammerhead placed in that driveway. Just because it looks as though it may be roughly 400 feet long, the driveway,
Yeah.
to get back into that building envelope on the rear of the Lot 11.
Yeah, this is 11 back here, and the building
Correct.
envelope is on the, kind of on the
Yeah.
backside because of some natural resources along the front.
That's all I have at this time.
Michaela, what do you have to add?
Hi, everyone. I have just a couple things as well. One, and probably the biggest one that we saw from the planning side, is to make sure that the final application addresses the 100-foot septic system buffer between the test pits and the future well locations. We see that they're both on the map, but there's no buffer distance shown, so it's hard to tell if both will be able to fit on each lot as needed for environmental permitting reasons.
Michaela, there's I meant to talk to you about this before, there's a gray hatch. I don't know if you have a copy of the plan in front of you. There's a gray hatch that kind of follows the road in a way, and that is a 100-foot setback from the proposed septic locations. So that's what the intent of that was. Maybe we need to make that a little bit more clear.
Okay,
But-
maybe if the final plan can have that more clearly.
Sure.
Sounds
Okay.
great.
Yep.
The next thing then was thinking about site distances at the road access point and Lot 11's driveway access point, and the trip generation estimates on Chadbourne Bridge, specifically going away from Lot 11 toward that intersection that gets pretty backed up.
Yep, that's not a problem. And I think all of the traffic will generally go that way, so we can provide a report based on the ITE manual.
Awesome. And then we saw it addresses that revegetation will occur, but there's not a lot of detail on what that would look like or where.
Yeah, and I guess this one, this question is maybe one that I'd like to discuss a little bit. I guess as it relates to the greenbelt requirement. I don't particularly see that as an issue, but I don't know if I think the intent of the greenbelt requirement is in the event of the need to widen a road or right of way. I don't know if that's right or not, but I just don't, in the case of this road, I can't see this ever being extended, just primarily because of the nature of the land and the natural resources kind of to the back in the open space area. So that would be one thing that I guess I'd like to talk to the board about, requesting a waiver on, where this is, it's not a major throughway, and I don't think ever will be. We also have, I think the front setbacks here are, yeah, we have a 40-foot front setback, so we wouldn't have any structures within 40 feet of the right-of-way anyway, which I think is more than the greenbelt requirement, which is 25 feet. And then just in terms of vegetation, what we've assumed is that we've assumed a certain amount of development that happens on each lot, and that the remaining land that's not either a driveway or a structure is, intended to become a lawn. So I don't know if the greenbelt discussion is something for tonight or not, but it's something I guess we'd like to talk about, the potential for being provided with a waiver of that particular subdivision standard.
Does the board have any questions about the greenbelt?
I think maybe just, I know you kind of talked about a little bit of what your understanding is. Michaela, maybe you could give us a quick briefing on what you found in comparison to what is being stated.
Yeah, as far as the back end of the proposed subdivision, I find the same thing. I was and am focused more on the front of the property. Because is Chadbourne Bridge considered a state aid road or not?
No, it is not.
Oh, no, it's not, okay.
Actually, a discontinued. Sorry, McKim. It's actually a discontinued town road. This is actually a dead end, probably another mile from where this subdivision is proposed.
Okay, so we don't need to worry about the strip of land 25 feet or to 50 feet along the road, in between the road and the start of the subdivision?
I personally am not concerned with that portion, but that's a good question for the Public Works Director. I can certainly get some answers for that. We can get back to you.
Yeah, okay, sounds good.
Let's see. And then the last one I had was providing a cost estimate for the bond to construct the street.
Yeah, and that's something that we can do. We typically, wait until maybe there's one kind of round of review before we do that, but we can provide that maybe with the next submission.
Awesome. That's all I had. So.
All right, thank you, Michaela. So I guess any questions, concerns from the board that we want to bring up at this point?
At this point, I don't have any questions.
Is there, the road itself is going to be owned by the HOA, I get that right, but you're thinking you want the town to take it over at some point?
We're building it to a town standard, and we'll offer it to the town for it to be accepted as a town road. So, I think the goal of the applicant is that it would eventually become a town road. I know that sometimes that doesn't always happen, but that's the way we're going to present it.
Rebecca, for me.
Yeah.
And in discussion with Jason, the Public Works Director, he had requested that they retain the road, or the ability, they retain the ability to own the road until the subdivision is entirely built out.
Yeah.
Because as I understand this, this project, I believe the developer is just interested in doing the subdivision, the road, and then the lots would be for individual sale at that point.
Correct.
So
Sure.
he'd asked that it be built out prior to acceptance.
Gotcha. Okay.
Meaning all the houses built?
Correct.
The whole
Yeah.
thing done,
Yeah.
okay. And we would never say the HOA is accountable for this if we own the road. We'd own it all then, if we
Correct.
take it over, okay.
And so now, based on that plan, you must not know what type of structure is going on each lot, right? Because that would be you're not controlling like the design of the house that goes on there. You would then sell these individual lots, and whoever purchased it would then go through the normal
Right.
building process and decide if they wanted a colonial or a Cape.
Yeah, I mean, we're, I guess, essentially permitting the infrastructure and planning for the houses as part of that, but
Okay.
the housing, the houses that actually get built, we don't have any control over. Yeah.
So then, Mike, you would go in typical, like it was an individual lot at that point, and you would decide, okay, no, you can't put that size house on there. You would go through the normal building permit process. at that
Correct.
point, right?
Yep.
Anything else from the board? Cool. I don't have anything else. So I guess, what's our next step?
To schedule a public hearing.
Is it public hearing next?
Public
or-
hearing.
Okay. So then, when would that needs to be,
We'll need to at least be the next 2 meetings for the planning board. So we have next week, so it would be probably the 1st of February, is that correct? I
Is
don't
that
know.
your next meeting?
January 3rd is our next meeting.
Right, but you probably, it
You
has
can't
to,
do
it has to
that.
be
It has to be
advertised.
published.
Yeah, it'd be too soon.
Has
And
to
I
be.
know the reporter
Is-
is going to be off for a couple weeks due
Gotcha.
to the holiday.
To the holidays, so it's gonna kind of throw us in the slump. So you're looking at probably the first meeting in February before.
So
you
February
do-
7th.
Yep.
Can we vote on that tonight, or should we look to see how long the reporter's gonna be closed before we?
You could, that should give you
Gives us
plenty of
enough time, right, to
Yep.
do any notifications or anything? Okay. All right, so,
I saw a note about a site walk. Is that something that the board is interested in the meantime, or?
If I may.
you,
I'd like to, we would like to have you delineate lot 11, the driveway and the entrance with probably blue ribbon or something that stands out, something a little bit different
Okay.
than obviously the land markers and the wetlands, and there's a lot going on this lot. I went out and did a pretty substantial site walk. There's a significant amount of wetlands here, but a lot of the stuff is forested on one side, obviously, other than the part that is involved in the vernal pool.
so what does the board think? Do we want to do a site walk?
In February.
Yeah.
Never know.
We finally have snow.
It depends on weather.
Bring your
Yeah.
snowshoes. Ready for snow.
So I hear a no, all right.
Yeah.
So no site walk. All right, so I think I need a motion for the public hearing to occur on February 7th.
I can make that motion to propose that we have the public hearing on the 7th, providing we can meet all the requirements
Yeah.
before then.
Second.
All right, all those in favor? All right, we'll move this forward to public hearing.
I just have one question
Yeah.
about process. So we would have the public hearing on the 7th, and then I'm just trying to wrap my head around kind of an overall schedule for working through the process with the board. If all goes well, is there potential that we could have a vote on the preliminary subdivision the same night of the public hearing, or is that?
There is, yeah,
Okay.
we would then move it to new business
Okay,
at that point and would vote on it.
okay. So potentially, we could have approval of the preliminary that night, And then we would submit our final subdivision application. Would there be another public hearing as part of that, or?
No.
Okay, okay. All right, so potentially two more meetings.
Potentially, right, it depends on, you know, all the criteria that
Obviously,
we've
sure.
talked about
Yeah,
tonight.
yeah, sure.
Bringing it back, and
Yeah.
then what happens at the public hearing.
Maybe I should say best case scenario.
Best case scenario, there you
Yeah,
are.
okay. Okay.
Ideally.
Yeah, okay. Okay, perfect, I appreciate it.
Sure.
Thank you. Oh, yeah.
A couple of guys have been already.
I'll reach out to you about comments and stuff.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, appreciate it.
All right, thank you. All right, so we'll move on to new business, of which we have none. Next is communications. Everybody had the dates in their mailbox for meetings for 2024, so please be mindful of that. Next is miscellaneous, which we don't have anything, which leads us with adjournment, so a motion to adjourn. Just made a motion?
Second the motion to adjourn.
All those in favor? We are adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you all for accommodating me on Zoom tonight, and I look forward to meeting you in person.